West Nile TV. Miyuder Ingomwa. West Nile TV. Miyuder Ingomwa. West Nile TV. Miyuder Ingomwa. West Nile TV. Miyuder Ingomwa.
Good afternoon, viewers. You're live on West Nile TV and it's the whistle time. My name is Owen and a lot of stories are to be talked about today. But of course, it's being another interesting moment having you right on the show already. We are in the third day, probably could be saying the Wednesday in the week of, that is this very week of October. Now, of course, a lot of things happening still in this very beautiful scene of sports. But for today, we'll just be taking key notes in there where Sports Club Villa is one of the big names where you could be talking about that probably they're missing out in the fixtures of the Uganda Premier League. My name is Owen, and of course, in the studios, I am with Oscar the Brazilian. Oscar, welcome and good afternoon.
Well, thank you so much. I believe Villa's case is not an isolated case for me. In fact, I think Villa should be one of the most exemplary clubs. They're record champions, and this is what you're doing.
Now, of course, we should be talking about Villa in lengthy, but of course, let's start with the biggest coming in the region of West Nile. It has always been there, the 5th edition of the Obimu Cup. All people, sometimes you see how things keep going in all the angles. Now, of course, the Central or the Bagandas have their own. West Nile has this called the Obimu Cup. It's one of the biggest probably tournament that takes place in the West Nile region, but of course mostly in the Aluru sub-region. Now let's start with, of course, they did confirm yesterday the teams that will be available for participation, and out of that you have the Jonam Select, you have the Padier Select, and not forgetting of course the Okoro Selector and the defending champions Padea Rising Stars who have been confirmed. Remember, these games will be kicking off on the 22nd of this very month of October. 22nd and 23rd will be the game or the tournament that will be played right there. This time around, it's going to be so short that of course things will be going. But of course, the 5th edition comes back. The theme for this very tournament this year is to end early marriage and of course stop early pregnancy in the girls in the region. So it's one of the biggest, and of course a lot of sensitization needs to be done in there. Oscar, looking at this, the teams that have come through in there, and of course the team that has been the defending champion still shows presence in this game.
Well, I am at this time, I don't know what has happened, maybe because of COVID and other things, but I loved so much what happened in these previous editions where we had many teams. I mean, you could bring so many people together, pass on information, but still I think through the use of the media they're going to do something in this. But their Select is a team from Alur Kingdom, but the other side of Uganda, where I come from DR Congo. It's going to be a nice thing for me. The theme is a touching one for me, and I feel like during this pandemic we've lost too many teenage girls to majority of them actually got pregnant, which is not a good thing. So I'm happy that the kingdom has chosen to take this lead to make sure that at least something comes up. They should actually sensitize the girls. And one other critical thing that people do always, I call it a mistake. There's a lot of focus on the girl child, and we tend to neglect the boys. To me, that's one of the things. In all the people who are advocating, by the way, the advocacy is mainly girl child, girl child, girl child. I think that is wrong. Because you can't only advocate to empower the girls when the boys are left behind. It doesn't make any sense.
And most of the time, the boys are engaged in this. Even the football, you're going to be seeing boys play.
Now, that's why I'm saying, at least in this one, it looks to me, a balanced equation, because you're going to be seeing the boys, you're going to be seeing because net basketball is going to be taking place. That's a good thing, because the moment you're fighting for the rights of the boys, you need to also bring the girls. The girls are supposed to be made aware of the rights of the boys. And on the other side, when you're talking about, you're advocating for the rights of the girl child, the boys are supposed to be made aware. To me, it's actually a plus, and that's one step that any other person who is advocating for a right of a human being, whether you're advocating for the rights of women in marriage, you're not supposed to neglect their husbands, because at the end of the day, these people stay together. So you need to find a way of empowering both so that they move together. And I am happy that in this edition, it's going to be the focus is much more, to me, a balanced thing, that you're having both the boys and the girls being brought together, and bringing on board these people. At least you may not completely eradicate, but at least they would have done their part. And one of the most important things for me, that I've chosen sports to have this, actually to disseminate this information. It's one of the biggest things. Even when you want to advocate for peace, sports is one of the easiest things actually to penetrate, because so many people have it. And once you incorporate your information through sports, it's become very easy and easier to be understood. Most people don't like very complicated things. That I sit here, you're telling me about, you start talking to me like for 1 hour. But if it is through something that I feel is within my leisure, something that I love, the information is easier to be passed.
Now, of course, teams is yet to register more, and according to the reports coming out right there, but of course they already confirmed there are 4, and out of that I did tell you, of course, teams that the team that has been the champion, or the defending champion, Padia Rising Stars, is the team in there. Do we expect maybe something better out of them this season, or defend this trophy for another time?
Well, that team is not a simple team. That team actually beat Nebi Central in the final, I should say. But it was a combination of players, most majority from Nebi Central. That team is not an easy team. That's why I've always been saying it's not easy to play against a team that you don't know, because you may not know of the qualities, but they actually know you.
Yeah.
I still think this time around they're going to come stronger, and this time around they're going to put in a spirited fight. It's just the day they won, people started talking about them. Others actually did know that there will be a team coming in from DR Congo, and to me, I think also it should be a platform, not only to people limiting it to the Anur Kingdom. You should be having these clubs going there to go and watch these players, because scouts should be able to be everywhere. You can spot 2-3 players from the other side of Congo, and you bring them on board. We have seen through that many actually Nebi Central had, in their previous season where they went unbeaten in the regional league, they had 3 players from DR Congo, and those players were faring up well the way they've been. Even when they went to the big league, they had those players who are actually doing very, very well for them. So to me, this should be a platform as well for scouting talent.
Now, this time around, to determine the group or the grouping in there, of course, it will be upon a draw that will go in there, and according to the stories coming in there, it will be a random draw that you will, of course, endeavor either the groupings in there. So we're yet waiting to see how some of the clubs that will be coming through, but of course Group A, B, or C, or D will be coming, and we'll be always updating you right there. For those who are right there, I know you should be getting ready because it's going to be at Barokoro Stadium, where you will be having all these games in Paida, and of course West Nile TV will be bringing you all these games, and of course what exactly is happening in there. All actions will be live on, that is our West Nile TV channel 477, and of course streaming live on the YouTube channel. But of course, moving away from there, for the first time we had a look at how Onduparaka Football Club, after doing a massive of course recruitment, and then of course a lot, you did see massive exodus in the 2020 and the 2019-2020 season, of course players in there. Now, right now as I talk, Onduparaka Football Club is set for the Uganda Premier League, which is set to kick off on Friday. And you look at what exactly has happened. Onduparaka Football Club played against Calvary Football Club yesterday, and a 1-1 all draw that came through in there. Muhammad Shaban came onto the score sheet. But of course, one of the eyeing for that is a Calvary new recruit, Choka Julius getting the first goal in the 10th minute. Calvary still keeps that moment. But of course, now let's look at Onduparaka itself. They recruited. They talked about players. One of them is Atamba, the man who came from US, but of course has been with Mbarara City and junior team some time back before crossing over to US. That makes him as an international player, okay, to come in there. But of course, looking at Onduparaka's play, looking at the team, looking at the boys who are in the team, what do you expect this season from Onduparaka? Because last season, it was not an easy one. They survived narrowly. If maybe the pandemic
actually helped,
did not come through in there. But of course, it was going to be a very big one. Someone would say the pandemic helped them because we didn't know what was going to come in the next 3 fixtures that were left. So this time round, do you see that team composed or strong enough to keep them in where they have always been into the league?
Well, the last 2 seasons, Onduparaka has been helped by the pandemic. That's the truth. Otherwise, God knows where Onduparaka will be participating. It can be a bitter truth, but that is the truth. Looking at the players that they have signed, I think somebody would say we were too quick to judge them, but and if you watch the games, you clearly feel that it's just like a beginning. You're starting something newly, and it's not always easy to assemble the boys and to bring them together. To me, I still feel it will be a work in progress. People shouldn't expect too much from Team Onduparaka.
This season?
Yes, this season. I watched the boys, but I don't think people should have a lot of expectations that we are going to maybe be lifting the trophy, we are going to be maybe in the top 2 or top 4. I think that one would be an overrated expectation. When I watched the game, the player that comes into my mind is Muhammad Shaban. He is being charged with the responsibility of getting the goals. He returned, and immediately they named him the captain. He should be getting the goals. But previously they were playing their friendlies with Alur United. Those are the type of teams, which I don't think is too competitive. But
can I give you a list of the games that they played? Yes, so Onduparaka played against URA, where they lost 2-1 to URA, and then of course they played against Seta United, where they beat Seta United 3-1, a team that trains at the Kataka in Seta. And then of course you have they played the West Nile Select, where they beat them 6-1, and then Onduparaka played URA hammered them 3-2. And then of course you did see also Sire, where they played and beat them 3-0. Alur United, they played with Alur United and got 5-3 against Alur United. Sports Club Villa beat them 3-2. And then of course Police Onduparaka played 1-1. Now yesterday Calvary was again 1-1, but they have never failed to concede goals in all these games they have played.
I want you to take all the other teams out of the equation. They said as the Alur United, focus on the competitors.
URA.
Look at Villa, look at URA, look at Police. Those are the real competitors. Those are the teams Onduparaka will be competing against. Now look at the results. You compare them. Look at a team like Calvary. It's a very competitive team. Look at the result they actually got. So one clear thing that I'm glad you mentioned is that the team has failed to keep a clean sheet out of those that failed to keep. Now that should actually show you something. What are the coaches going to do, especially on how to work on the defensive abilities, and then in terms of scoring, do they have enough firepower up front? But in my opinion, I think Onduparaka still is not going to. We shouldn't be putting them so much high. I look at Muhammad Shaban. I just look at Eloni of Vipers at the club. Shaban alone can't do enough. Who are these players who he's flanked with? I've said this time and again. Agao should focus on business. That's the truth. Now that he has signed with the club, can we see the best of Agao who went to Barcelona? Can we see the best of the Agao who used to play in the Gofia Cup? Can we see the best of the Agao who won Coca-Cola for Chitende? Can we see that best of Agao? That's not what I'm seeing, and if we could be having a player like him, because they are now the senior players in that team, those are the type of players who should be, Ondoparaka should be able to count on. But I'm not seeing the best of him. One of the most disappointing players for me. He has all it takes. By this time, honestly speaking, Agao should be playing in Europe with all the qualities, with all his abilities. Agao should not be still here. But what is happening, even at least KCCA or even Vipers, I'm not saying Ondoparaka is just any other club, but with his abilities, I expect more from him. Is it because the style of play that doesn't suit him? What does he want? So if the coaches feel he's a very important member of that team, are they willing to change their style of play to suit him, or are they going to give him all it takes in terms of training him to suit in how the team should actually operate? Perhaps right now the most creative player should be Agao, the person who should be charged with scoring many goals, because you have let go of Jamiambe Jordan. So who else is left there? A reliable one. Who is left there? So I still feel there's a lot of work that's supposed to be done, but the underlying factor for me is that people should not over-expect a lot from Ondoparaka this season.
Just from Ondoparaka still, once again, I want to talk about the technical team. You saw the technical bench very well yesterday. The head coach is not yet into the team up to now. David Lutalo, who of course right now, in fact he has just summoned a 27-man squad or ladies squad for the Crested Cranes to be going for their game.
George Lutalo.
Yes, George Lutalo.
Yes.
And he's one name that you could be talking about right now, maybe adopting, looking at his players and doing everything, but it's still Kizito and the assistant George Lutalo who are still looking into this team, and probably he may come again with his own ideas, change here and there. Don't you think this will affect Ondoparaka? And don't you think just this is a way of just putting him on paper and the rest go ahead, just like how currently at Arua Hill, Mbabazi still maybe on paper and the rest are still going on because they have not unveiled Mbabazi officially?
At least I have been seeing Mbabazi.
You have been seeing him
on the touch.
commanding even.
He takes charge of training sessions, which is even at Calvary when they went away. He played. He was on the touch line, though. He keeps giving his assistants, the people he's mentoring, I should say. The Borinis now, today you're going to be in charge. Today maybe Caesar, you're going to be in the touch line, which is a good thing for me. That means the technical team is working together as a unit, because it's not a must that the head coach has to stand, but of course you need to have some other people who can make your work easier. Now, coming to the issue of Ondoparaka, I remember saying this on this platform, that technically I think Dudu is going to be the head coach.
You saw him yesterday.
Because you can't convince me that a head coach up to now has not come on ground, and games are starting on Friday, and you're not training, you're not even standing.
He has even not known what the team is doing.
You're not standing on the touchline. You're not even training with the boys. So what is it? What is it exactly that is happening? Maybe because I've not paid his sign-on fee. I'm just saying. Maybe because there are some other things behind that have not actually been finalized. But we were wondering. By now, a head coach should be on ground. By now, a head coach should have known the strength and the weaknesses of his players. Now, you should also be focusing on, okay, now, which are these other players that I feel maybe in January I should be able to bring. I'm not even quite sure that whether the games they're playing against the Villas, the URAs, whether the coach was on the touchline. We mentioned this. How will he balance his national duty with a club a club duty?
Another question comes like, is this not applied to coaches like Lutalo? Because FUFA did come out, in case you are attached to the national team.
National team, yes.
You're not supposed to coach a club. So is this not attached to the Crested Cranes and the She Cranes and this other?
Well, that much I am yet to ascertain, but so long as you say the national team, I thought it should be across all board. Whether maybe the people who could be excused could be those ones who takes charge of maybe the under 17 and the under 23s, because that games comes they're not so much periodic, and again their games are dependent upon whether the under 17 league is actually going on. But because I used to see the likes of Peter Onen, he was still at Bull, now going to again take charge of the other team. But again, I don't see that really working. Was that a way of only not of preventing Babazi not to come to Arua Hill? Was that only just was it selective justice? I think we can put this as a big topic for another day. But honestly speaking, as a head coach, you're supposed to be with a team. Maybe one other thing that really works out in Europe, club coaches, what they normally do. Me, if I am the head coach, I may not necessarily be on the ground every day. What I need to do, I hire first team coaches. I hire team coaches. I have, like Manchester City have their first team coach.
Second.
They have their second. They have the others in charge of the goalkeeping coaches, and to mention about a few. So the coach, basically the head coach, now I want my players to be trained in this way. So for you come and watch the people who are putting the drills, the people who put the
cons,
the defensive drills, the attacking drills. Maybe they say our weakness in the previous game has been maybe in the midfield we did not create a lot of chances. Those are the drills that now they're going to put to instruct the players. Maybe our transition in attack was not good. Those are the type of drills specifically you're going to train. Maybe in set pieces we are not good. Those are the drills they're going to put for you. And we saw that Roy Keane at Sunderland could sometimes even just go twice a week to the training grounds, but on match days he's standing on the touchline because the coaches were doing the work. But it doesn't work the same this way, because me, if I am to train, there's a way I want my players.
Since you have that ambition of becoming a coach,
I want to train them myself, and that is what I want. And you can't tell me, I will not come here to lie to you that the players are doing well when I have not even seen them. I am not on ground. It doesn't work like that. So I think there's a bigger issue that we are yet to find out about the Lotalo and Ondoparaka relationship.
In the game yesterday, you look at Okocha Rashid, most of the penetration were via his angle in the friendly yesterday. And even the goal that came through was still via his angle. Are we seeing Okocha losing it all, or he's yet to adopt back into his form of those days where he was even looked into by very many clubs?
Well, I was with our cameraman yesterday. He was asking me, was Okocha playing football? I asked him why. He said he seems the guy was playing rugby.
He's too fat.
No, he's
the style of play.
His energy and the physique, his tackles, he thought that was rugby. But all the same, I think it all comes to recruitment. Sometimes I've been a player, I know there are moments you are forced to react, to give your all. Because when you're seeing something missing, you need to make that transition in attack, you need to fall back to defend. You need to help make those tackles even in the box. It sometimes becomes overwhelming for you. One, because you're not seeing a lot of support from your winger to drop deep to help you. Then again, the midfielders, if there's no compactness in the midfield, just like I saw with Calvary yesterday, I've been seeing that with Calvary. There's no compactness in the midfield. How do you defend? Because now once you lose the ball, the midfield is too open. Yeah. You have a midfielder who is not, whose body language
is not workaholic.
Doesn't show
that midfield.
Not workaholic. He has only that strength of the passing ability and trying a bit to position himself, but doesn't even have the physique. He tends to go for the physical tackles, but you and I know that tackle. Anyway, stopping that there. So I feel sometimes Okocha is forced to react in that way, because of the midfield that is seeing open. His line is prone to attack, because when it gets to transition in attack, Calvary is coming, and they have, who is that? Eric.
Yes, Eric.
Who is very pacey and can dribble very well. And on the other side, I think they're having players like Tabu who are looking at their own. Well, everyone, in fact, people know that Kosha is one of the strongest players in the team. Everyone wants to test him. But still, I feel there's still a lot of work in progress for him to get back to himself. And also comes to who is he being partnered with. That's why it's very important for head coach to be on ground.
Another day we shall be talking about this team department by department in all these teams in West Nile, and we see what exactly they are doing. We talked about Calvary, we talked about Arua Hill Sports Club. Now today we have a bit of Bunduparaka Football Club. But of course, let's take a break. We'll be coming back. But of course, we are doing something that is called somehow, of course, trying to find out what is happening. Yeah. And we'll be giving you that shortly. I know what happens up next. We're coming back with the Sports Club Villa saga, where of course a lot is being expected from the Sports Club Villa side, and they are not probably going to be into the Uganda Premier League according to the FUFA release or the statement that was released by Federation yesterday. We take a break. We'll be right back, and we are the Whistle Timers.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Villa has been one of the biggest clubs that, of course, you know, they even have the trophies of the Uganda Premier League. They have been a very big champion in the Uganda. But of course, right now as I talk, there's a lot of things happening in there. Of course, according to the Federation, they have failed to get a CEO, and of course, they have failed to get a president for themselves. So governance is not into that, is the team of Sports Club Villa. But of course, it is one statement that was put, and Federation of Uganda Football Association did say that, of course, people should think about the Uganda Premier League without Sports Club Villa, one iconic sports club in the region. Of course, they have done it. Very many have known about it. They have the funds. Villa Park will always be very loaded.
Yeah,
and that is one big thing that is going to be missed.
Some of us who have followed them for a very long time, you know, as you're going that side of Zambia, you know where to branch. But I'm a fan, not a registered one, but I don't think I can easily associate with Villa for now, for what is happening. It may not be the making, one, because the fans are registered, and there are over 2,000 fans who can be actually able to vote.
Yeah.
So why can't they be able to vote? Why can't they vote? On the other side, that club for now is owned by the fans, because there is no owner for now, the sole owner in that club. All what they have is like board of trustees who are in charge of the assets and other things. They only control those ones. So they needed to have the leadership in place. Now, one other thing that I think is making Villa to be like that is because of FUFA. I keep saying this without any fear. There are some cross-section of people at Villa, at FUFA, who want Mbide to be the president, while there are other people, outsiders, who don't completely want. They want the honorable Medard Segona to be the president. So now there is that politics that is affecting Villa. And this
is football politics. The real politics has also entered in the football politics.
The real politics, like the democratic politics of this country,
has entered into the football politics.
You all know Medard Segona is on NUP.
Exactly.
Now you know Mbide is NRM. That is, he even said it. Why, if you make a person from NUP become the president, how will General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni support us?
Let's leave that there. Let's start with the saga. It is one big thing that came through. And if you look at all this saga of presidents and the other, Villa Park is being affected, part of it is being affected by UNRWA, that of course trying to work on the road, and the road penetrates through there. And now there's billion.
The railway.
Yes, that is supposed to come in there. Could you say the fight is all about the billion that is coming?
Yes, that's part of the thing. There's the money coming in. Who is going to be taking charge of this money? You all know Magogo is NRM. So there is going to be, and by the way, before even he came.
So did you already see this coming?
Yeah, that's.
So he wants.
We are asking ourselves, why is Magogo making frequent visit to State House? You know, by then the Uganda Queens received a lot of support from State House. Coming here, Museveni will splash money, give money. I'm not saying it's bad. General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, please support us. Even if you give the money, I will take.
Recently, when he was giving the buses.
Even me, I will take. If you give me the money, I will take. But I will use it productively. Now, coming to the issue, yeah, you're making frequent visits. But the visits, some of us keep saying, want we see in 2021 Magogo contesting anywhere? We saw
he did it.
He did.
And he went through.
Yes. And he went through. Now, the issue is Villa is a record champion in this country.
True.
Now, the issue is who should head Villa? And Mbide even said this himself. We can't let this go to a person who is not NRM. For him, he's not NRM, he's opposition. As if being opposition is a crime.
Where does that belong? Because football unites.
A good question. Why should we bring that other politics in this? Because in sports, by the way, that would actually attract the attention of FIFA. By the way, we are not supposed the politicians are not supposed we're not supposed to mix in the politics of a country. Ours is supposed to be basically
the politics of the football.
That's all. But now it comes to be a little personal and to me there's a little bit of naivety when you start bringing so and so belongs to this ticket. I think that's completely wrong for me. That is why it's now going to affect FIFA, including even innocent people like us who follow and who have been.
So your Villa is excluded in the UPL this season, and you're not going to see Villa out of that. FIFA already confirmed that
they will.
15 clubs
will
have all submitted and exercised their license, and they will not now. Villa has been excluded 2020-2021.
Let me tell you, Villa will.
How? When Federation has come up so boldly?
You let me be there, you will see. Villa will come back. At one point, this is not the first time. At one point, remember the issue of Mbarara City. Their pitch was not approved. And the first fixture that came out, it was without Mbarara City.
Like how Busoga was recently also.
So what happened?
Now that 15 clubs are confirmed.
So I am still seeing these guys coming on, but I feel that this politics should actually be dealt with as soon as possible. Whoever, even if it is Mbide, I support. I don't want to look at Mbide as a politician. I want to look at Mbide as a leader. If it's supposed to be Segona, in fact, I'm meaning Segona. I don't want to look at Segona being somebody on noob. I want to look at Segona as a leader. Does he have a vision for Villa? How far can he take Villa? What are his strategies? Since Villa is struggling financially, how is he going to get finances for Villa? How is he going to streamline the structures? How will he make Villa great again? Now, if the fans will think it is going to be Mbide, let Mbide present the same thing. How will he make Villa great again? He has a bit of experience in marketing. What other strategies is going to use to bring fans to Villa? Those are the things I want to see.
Just to go on that, recently when these people are doing their campaign, one was saying that if you vote me, it will be very easy for me to lobby from the president.
Yes, I will vote the president and we will get it. Because last time he gave us a bus. So this time he can even give us more. Because but now if you vote my colleague, the president will not give you.
Let's leave that there, but of course now the question comes down to what should of course the top federation do? I'm talking about FIFA, because mixing in real democratic politics with this sports or the football politics is becoming so much. You have even seen Alan Sewanyana, who wanted to be the president. Nieti was also an MP. And how do these people balance this? Because Inglia Moses Magogo, in his recent speech in one of the televisions, in one of the radios in Kampala, he was saying it is him and they will vote and the team will participate, saying that, and he's a fan. But now a fan saying it authoritatively, that shows you something could be happening in between.
That's why I told you there is always a lot of conflict of interest. In Villa, in Express, a lot of conflict of interest. Yes. When it is Molindwa, when you're talking about Express, he's going to be there. Now, when it is Villa, Magogo is going to be there. I don't know why so much it's not being talked about Bright Stars where he's inclined on. I don't know. But it is Villa. And now, I think their conflict of interest is going to affect how football is being run at Villa. So many other teams, in fact, even right
now. Professionally, are they supposed to be engaged with some of these clubs when you reach that level?
I think, in my opinion, if I were the president, I would not.
Though you may have it inwardly, but you will not come out.
The only thing we can try to give out is guidance as FIFA. This is how you are supposed to do it within this time frame. Maybe we just come and guide you on how you're supposed to do it. Have the electoral committee, have these structures in place, have these people in place, and have people vote. That's all. Then you submit for us this after. You can only seek for FUFA's guidance when you feel things are not going on right, but not FUFA to come directly. Now, like Magogo saying, we are going to vote.
Per the statement by the Federation, Sports Club Villa is excluded. Yesterday, that was the statement that came through. Sports Club Villa is excluded from the 2021-2022 season fixtures released by the UPL that came in there. And then, of course, at the same time, of course, 15 clubs have been confirmed. So let's wait and see. And that's one big thing we should be talking about. But let's leave that there. Now, of course, with all this, we'll be taking a break and come back into the international scene. See what is happening in the world of international stories, international clubs, and all what is happening there. We take a break. We'll be right back.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Welcome back from that break, and of course back into the scene yet again internationally. Let's start with the top stories coming there. In some few days ago, you did see the man by the name, the former Chelsea, of course, goalkeeper Courtois Timbahu did say something about how congested the fixtures in Europe are, and he talked about very many things, the Nations League, other breaks that have been coming through. But of course, this brings me now back to the issue of some time back. Last month you did see, of course, a very big, of course, up to now it's still going on, and the run for the for World Cup to come to 2 years at 2 years time, and that's one big thing. Oscar the Brazilian is one person who supported the idea. He said it is for him, it looks good. He gave his views, and of course we did talk about the congestion, the piling, and of course the players probably getting tired. Now one of the players come out so boldly, a professional player, saying this is a lot, the congestion is too much, they are not really being supported by the stakeholders of this, of course, organization that keep going, and the sports, the football that keeps going every time. Do you agree with him? Because it's one thing that he has come out boldly saying. He has known why he has said this, because to me, it's the truth. You've seen clubs also getting challenges after teams, their players have traveled back to the national duties.
Well, the whole issue has been surrounding Thibaut Courtois. His comment came immediately after, during this international break. He said if they don't talk about it, at the end of the day, people don't care about the players. And it's true. Let's take, for example, they've just been for the Euros.
Yes.
And after the Euro, there was no break given.
I think it was only 2 weeks.
For the players to rest. I think it was only some of the clubs that gave unextended. Some clubs just try to give players. They are just to rest at least for a week. You saw the likes of Harry Kane. Now after there, you come for club duties already on. Within this, the other 2 weeks there was international break. You remember when the saga of the Brazilian players almost to be summoned. Now, just that was just last month. This month again, there's international break. There's World Cup qualifiers, and there's UEFA Nations League that France has just won. Now, over the weekend on Saturday, Sunday, there is
Premier League. The league games are coming back.
League games are coming back. Now again in 2 months' time, international break. You have again qualifiers for the Nations League, against qualifiers for the World Cup. Where do players get this time to rest? I think, to me, he's right, and brings us down to what we talked about, the issue of the Benin World Cup to be played after every 2 years. And Arsene Wenger spelled it very clearly that it's going to help. Yes, let me first borrow the words of Thibaut Courtois. He said, at the end of the day, it is just business for UEFA, but people don't care about the players. And it is true, when UEFA organizes many of these tournaments,
they get money.
They get money. Sponsors are coming, but they don't care about how it affects the players. Now, to Arsene Wenger's plans that World Cup after every 2 years, and it could either be between March and April, or between June and I think around November. I think somewhere there. And to him, after their players are going to be given time to rest, at least 1 month of rest. Now that is good, because after each of these, even the summer games, we're yet going big. Even before the Euros, there was Olympics.
Yeah.
And you still expect some of the players to go and represent their countries. So to me, honestly, people are not caring about the players, and I agree with him. And the issue of World Cup, or all the tournaments that should be played after every 2 years, the plans are well clear. I think if the world adopts this, the players are not going to suffer so much.
We shall be seeing how exactly these players will be doing that, because it's still in way of trying to balance here and there. UEFA is not happy, by the way, with this 2 years and this. No.
Why would they?
Why
would they?
You did see a friend say, no, this is not the case.
See the issue. Why would they? When they know directly, it's going to affect them. Because you have the Nations League, you have now the qualifiers coming, you have Euros. Tell me that's not money. Now that's going to affect
the entire world and UEFA. Who is bigger?
The entire world is bigger. This is just UEFA is just for Europe. If we go with Africa supporting this, we'll go with
Asia and
with Asia, with South America. What is Europe?
You're done.
Let them pull out if they want.
Huh?
Let them pull out.
Let's take a move and see how exactly things are happening. Of course, because of this, very many clubs are facing challenges of injuries. Manchester United, Liverpool, Arsenal are all got in there now. One of the biggest is, of course, Manchester United lost Harry Maguire. They have now again lost the man by the names of Varane, who is not going to be into the team for the Leicester game. We're here to see how exactly for the Harry Maguire will be. Are we seeing another bad day for Manchester United, who are still starting their bigger games?
Yeah. Rafael Varane is going to be, his being out is going to be one of the biggest challenge for United, because they have Victor Lindelof, Eric Bailly, there is
Phil Jones,
and then who else is there? They have. Let's talk about
mostly those are the key players.
Let's talk about these few, because now if you don't have Harry Maguire, you don't have Rafael Varane. He's one of the best ball-playing centre backs. Harry Maguire is one of a kind. Now you'll be forced to choose in between Victor Lindelof You have
Eric Bailly
Eric Bailly
and, Phil
or the
Jones.
calamitous Phil Jones, who I still don't know what he's doing at Manchester
I've
United.
not watched this game ever since he came back from injury.
To me, I feel it's going to be a hard thing because the games that United is going to be playing after Leicester, you look at games like against Manchester City, there's
Atlanta.
Atlanta.